Okay, welcome back. In this part two of this video, I am going to finish up where we left off last time. So let's just review that real quick. And then after I do that, I am going to show you how you can add an image as a background to a section, as well as just a few more CSS tricks. So first, let me show you what's first going on. I have two tigers in this image, same tiger, both with the same text right here. Medium, size, align left. Again, if I want to, because we set up the CSS, I can say this one is a small tiger. In fact, I think I'm going to reverse that. I'm going to make this top one a small tiger, and I am going to make the bottom one a medium. Medium tiger. Let me spell that right. Medium tiger. So I'm going to make the bottom one medium. There we go. Medium tiger. There we go. So I want to show you what's going on real quick. So you will notice last time the tigers were the next paragraph was spilling into this, and it's no longer doing that. So two things I've added here. On line 25, I've given the second paragraph here an ID called next. There's a better way of doing this. What I should have probably done is use the CSS selector that says make the paragraph after a paragraph like that. But let's just, for right now, I want to show you about IDs and classes. Remember, a dot is a class, a hashtag is ID. And the way that we make this image that is floating not float into the next paragraph is I use clear. And because I'm going to be using both right, left, center, a bunch of things, I'm just going to clear both sides. All right? So this way the images do not float into each other. All right, so this is all well and good. So let's just review. If you saw that trick I was pulling earlier, I have a medium class and a small class. And so simply, if I come in here to the image, I can use this class designation, medium, align left, align right. In fact, I can take this tiger and I can align him right. And now he is right aligned. This tiger is now right aligned. So he's aligned to the right, he's aligned to the left. I can change the size. Very convenient to set up your CSS to do this. Makes adjusting things very easy, makes your sizes very well. When you get into grid layouts, this also is very helpful. Okay, and again, both these tigers have the same title, pop-up text, and they also have an alt text, as you can see, our tiger repose. Remember, it's highly important that you both size your photos correctly and provide an alt text as for accessibility reasons. And in case the photo doesn't load up, you need to have an alternative text. They're very important to do that. As I'm very fond of saying, is that you have two options in life. You will either die or become disabled. And so there is no harm in addressing accessibility early on, because even though you currently in your point of life might not need it, one of your users definitely will and appreciate it. It is, shall we say, not the simplest thing to do, but I mean, adding an alt tag is the bare minimum you can do, and there's no reason not to. All right, so let me show you a trick. I actually want this tiger to be centered. And so we're going to pull a little bit of a trick here. And if you've been paying attention, you might have figured out what I did. And so I'll give you a hint. See how my body, and again, come back to here. See how the body is centered? I'm taking the body, is taking up 90% of the text, and it's centered. When I set the margin for the body, I said 0 auto. And what that means is when you set margins, it goes top, right, bottom, left in a clockwise manner. So I said no margin at the top, and then automatically set the margins for the space allowed. We are going to do the same thing down here, okay? We're going to do the same thing down here. So first up, I want this image to be, let's just do this, margin. And as we saw before, 0 pixels, auto. Okay, now I have a center margin CSS. Let's see if we can go, let's move Mr. Good Old Boy over here into frame. So instead of align left, let's align center. And let me make sure my CSS align center does that. So one thing I'm going to need to do here is I think we're going to need to make this a display block. Okay, so there. It turns into sort of a block-like element, and we're displaying center. So now as you can see, is my tiger is centered in this section, which is a pretty nifty effect. Okay, so let's go through now with the last trick. So for the last trick, I'm going to mess with this last paragraph, and so I'm going to give this. You know what? Let's give it another ID just for the fun of it. Let's give this ID, and let's call this background. Okay, so you will notice that I do have this river. Oops. I do have this river background. Now, this thing is incredibly huge. If you notice, this is 3,400. It is 1.97 megapixel image. It is way larger than it absolutely needs to be. But we're going to use it anyway, and we'll come into this. So I actually probably should have resized this. I'm just going to use it anyway, and then I'll show you how we do this. So let's come back into my HTML. So notice I have this paragraph ID now. In fact, I could probably set this background image for I probably could set this background image for the whole body, but let's just do it here just for the fun of it, and then you could probably do that in a later place. So here we go. Where am I going to put this? Let's put this right here to next. So I am going to say hashtag background, right? I'm going to do hashtag background right here, and we're going to pull this little trick here. We're going to say background image. Yeah, it got me. And we're going to do the URL of this. Now, earlier today, I did this wrong, and I'm debating whether to do this wrong again, but I think I'm going to do it correctly. I need to remember where I am and where I want to go to. I'm currently in my style folder, and I need to get to the river image. So that means I need to navigate there. So that means I need to go up a directory, ... then to my photos directory, and then to my river. Okay? And there we go. And so if I now finish this out, semicolon, we should be good. And you will see that we have, coming back over to here, you can see that we have this paragraph down here that is, the text is now almost unreadable. So let's lighten that up. So we're going to set the color of the text. We want a very light gray. So let's go with a DDD. That's pretty good. I could go with DFD, right? I could go with a DDF, something in the green tones. I could do an FFD, a little bit of a yellow-ish color here, right? Just to play with the images, and there we have it. We have a background image. I mean, I could really, if I wanted to, go ahead and, oops, that's not what I want. I could take this background image, as I said earlier. Let's just, while we're here, copy, and let's just apply that to the whole document. Let's apply that to a whole document, and let's comment that out. And let's go look at what we have. So again, we have a lovely little background images, and we have our tiger. So whichever effect you want to. There's one effect you could go for, or again, we can comment this out, remove these comments here, and go for an effect that looks kind of like that. So those are options you have available to you. So I would highly suggest that you explore these options in your own work and go for this. I think you'll have a lot of fun with this. Hopefully this was a bit of a help. There's a lot more you can do with this, but this is a good starting off point. I'm glad you liked the part 2. Part 2 is a whole lot shorter than part 1. See you around.